This is an unofficial and therefore illegal gold mine. This is where illegal miners dig, and it isn't a single team. The mine has been divided into different sections, and each one has a separate group working in it, and crossing the borders is prohibited. When we show up, most of the miners have already left the premises. They had already received word from the scouts that we were coming. All that had been left behind were this loader and an old man who quickly realized that we are not with the Oman, so he quickly got back to the business of sifting gold. I don't really understand where the gold is meant to be going. It looks like it comes out here, down that way.
Out.
So
Out
it
to the
goes to
water.
that rock
Yeah.
that's down under us, right?
Yeah.
So in theory, the water should be going down to that rock and washing the gold out of the dirt. And once you've got it all out, what's the weight? Is it at least a gram?
I don't know. Maybe it is. Maybe it isn't. A lot's been taken out. Official miners were here before us.
This is how the washing is arranged. The loader dumps a huge bunch of earth with the gold in it into this massive vat, which the miners call a device. And then, water is pumped into this device at a very high pressure. This washes the ground away, and any light clay, as well as large stones, get pushed away into these massive dumps. And then the heavier gold and leftover small stones go into a lower vat. And then all the water... Here, look at this. It flows down from here and here, in these rows of catchers. They might already start catching gold. And underneath these are the mats like the ones that I showed you before. That is there to catch all the fine soil. And look at this. I don't know if you can see. It's very possible that there are very fine little bits of gold in this. They might be lying here in between the little grains of sand. We're going to leave them here. This is gold. This is gold. The next step in the chain is the big catching device. The same mats from earlier, and as you can see, it's covered in little bits of sand and bits of stone. And if you look at it closely, you might be able to see some very little pebbles of precious metals hidden among all the dirt. After a while, the workers started to realize that we are not from Oman. They told us that they had been watching us come through with their binoculars. They might have come back, but they were not willing to talk about their work on camera to protect their identities. But come on, I'm just asking you to put a microphone on. And eventually, one of the miners says he would do it. But with his back turned, a cap on his head, and of course, anonymously. So let's start. How long have you been in this business?
I say I've been doing it for about 4 years, maybe more.
Do you remember when you found your first piece of gold?
Yeah, I remember a little.
And how did you feel? Were you excited? Were you over the moon?
Well, it's always quite hard to find it first. First you need to set up the machinery, then make sure it's all working, and when it's done you need to find a place to bury it. You need to get it out of the clay. The first time we had to deal with the clay, it was a mess. But then you learn how to clean it all up, and then we were left with the dust.
And the dust in this area is more like salt, right?
Nah, it's generally fine dirt, but, like salt. We threw it all away. We didn't like it at all. We thought about it for quite a while, and then we decided to come back. And that's it. That's how we started, and we never looked back.
And do you remember holding the gold in your hands? Do you remember how it felt when you saw those first specks in your fingers in your hands?
Yeah, I remember. Of course I do, but it wasn't on my fingers. It was in a bowl, in a special bowl.
In a bowl, this is what gold looks like. We were given this to see how much they washed in a day. Whoa, 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 whoa! Come over here, my friends, and feast your eyes on a batch of fresh, raw gold. It took them 12 hours of hard labor just to wash a gram of gold. But of course, the feeling is unreal when you're holding a bowl of freshly washed gold in your hands. But you wash at least 1 gram in a day, right?
A little more.
So then, would you say 2 or 3 grams?
Yeah, sometimes.
Or maybe 6, huh?
Yeah, maybe, I don't know. I don't keep track of it myself, and the mats still need to be cleaned out.
And this is a very important detail. It is only the boss who takes the mats out of the machines to be cleaned. The rest of the workers are not allowed anywhere close to them. They are very strict about that. And what comes out of the mats is far from pure gold. It is sand that might contain specks of gold, which is transferred into this basin and sifted out for gold. Here we see the guys who work by hand going through the process, but for the mechanized prospectors, the amount of gold they can get is a lot higher than this. The final washing process, and this isn't an exaggeration, is similar to magic. In the dirt, there are pieces of glass and bits of rock and other things as well. Then, when you put it through the water, all the dirt gets washed away, and the only thing that is left is golden, glittering sand. And this is where the prospectors finish the final part of the whole process. As you can see, everything has been caught in the mat. And as you can see, many of the cells have been filled up. Most of the flecks of gold are very small. They are not much bigger than a match head. But in total, they have mined 15 to 16 grams of gold. Look at this. This little piece of gold I have here is worth about 400 rubles. This one is twice as big, and so it's worth about 800 to 900 rubles. And right here, this, even though it is a small nugget, it can go for 1,000 to 1,100 rubles. The final cleaning of nuggets of this size is done manually. They take the dirt, like this, and dump it into bowls. As you can see, that's what they've done with this batch. So in this bowl, there are almost 760 grams of gold. This is about 3 million rubles. This mine has become a legal cooperative. We'll have to blur out the faces of the people working in here right now, because if any of them get recognized, then the local bandits will send out a manhunt for them. They'll want to find out where the cameras are, what kind of security processes they have around here, and find out how the whole operation works. It is very dangerous. Even at the building in which we shot the final gold cleaning, we were asked not to include any shots of the exterior and not to give any clues to the layout of the place. This is the heart of the mine, the most important place of all. In general, the work the official miners do is much the same, except that the ground meant for cleaning is not transported by loaders, but rather by dump trucks. And the machine they use for washing is more modern and much bigger. There is lots of equipment, but the main thing is that the amount of gold in these mines is a lot higher. The gold washed during the day is poured out for a final cleaning. This is a vibro table. This is where they wash any waste off, and the gold that they sift out during the process is carefully and methodically collected into a bowl. Their waste also isn't thrown out immediately. First, it is given a thorough wash. When that's done, each and every single stone is cleaned off by hand, just in case any nuggets might have been missed. They came across a few fairly large nuggets, and a special brush is used to separate them, and they go through this process again and again until they've got all the gold out. Every step in the process is overseen by a special supervisor, and the supervisor's supervisor, and the latter has a machine gun hanging off his shoulder, just to be safe, because you never know. The gold that has been cleaned is sealed into a box like this one, and this gold will be sent for smelting, 6 kilograms and 771 grams of it, which equates to roughly 28 million rubles. Let's take a look at this workshop again. Nobody walking past would ever think that tens of millions of dollars worth of gold come through here every day. The walls are flaking. The gold, after it has gone through all of that cleaning, gets put into these bowls so that it can be dried. I feel like I've gone into a time-traveling dream seeing it dried in such an old-fashioned way. I hope that the manufacturer will pay for the integration. It seems to me that the only things they have here from this century is, of course it is. And now come and look at these cans filled with kerosene. This is used as a solvent during the final phase of cleaning, and it is the safest thing used in the whole operation. Only illegal miners tend not to use it.